All right, should New York Governor Andrew Cuomo resign? Yes. The White House still in disagreement with a mountain of Democrats who say he absolutely should, and their ostrich approach is looking worse by the day. And here's why. A county leader in New York State today filed a complaint saying Cuomo's vaccine czar has been making calls across the state to gauge loyalty to the embattled politician. He says New York lawmakers might think loyalty to Cuomo could impact access to COVID vaccines. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio calling the loyalty shakedown, quote, the definition of corruption. This comes as investigators spent 4 hours on a Zoom call today with 25-year-old accuser Charlotte Bennett. She says her creepy and powerful former boss loved telling staffers what his large hand size indicated. Big gloves, apparently. So why are President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris still largely silent on all of this? Joining me now, New York Republican Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Welcome back to the show, Congresswoman.
Thank you. It's great to be back on.
So let me ask you this. What does it say about you when the people who know you best want you to go?
Well, I can't emphasize enough how long I've been calling for the resignation of Andrew Cuomo. My first time, I think, was 2014 when he created an anti-corruption commission that got too close to him and he shut it down. Now we move fast forward, although there's numerous other what I consider abuses of power in the past. But now here we are with this nursing home scandal, a bad policy followed up by a cover-up, falsification of records, which looks like it could be even a federal crime, not to mention the state crime. Now we have sexual harassment charges that look like they're turning now. Some of them are sexual assault charges. And now we have my old best friend, Larry Schwartz, who's out there bullying county executives about the vaccines and the rollout and asking for fealty to the king, basically, or they're not going to get their vaccines if this is what ends up proving to be true. It's really reprehensible, and it's just more of the same with Governor Cuomo, which is why I continue to renew my call for him to resign.
That's disgusting, and it's scary. You know, the thought that someone who's brave enough to stand up to the governor, that their part of the state isn't going to get vaccines. And that means frontline workers and older, vulnerable citizens, they're not going to get their vaccines because of this bully tactic, which has obviously been employed for a long time. So you see these deep personality flaws that are very publicly manifesting now. My biggest concern is that the nursing home death scandal, that gets overshadowed by some of these claims of sexual harassment and sexual assault.
I agree with those concerns, but you also brought up another interesting point on the vaccine rollout. Remember, it was the governor who went in and disrupted the decades-long plan that all the counties had in place to deal with the pandemic. His control freak nature, he got in and had to unravel it, and now he brought in his friend Larry Schwartz, who's bullying everyone. And, I had a run-in with Larry Schwartz a long time ago. It was after the governor passed his really severe anti-gun law while I had Remington Arms in my district back in those days. And guess what? I walked into the governor's mansion for a breakfast, and I had a pink Remington hat on. And Larry Schwartz threatened me to take that hat off, or I was going to be kicked out of the governor's mansion because I was wearing a pink hat. This is how they operate. They're petty. They're bullies. This is how Governor Cuomo has operated for years. And now it's reached a criminal point, possibly leveraging that could be criminal activity. Again, falsifying records. Now sexual harassment is turned to sexual assault potentially. It's time to resign or face impeachment. And I don't think he wants to be impeached.
Yeah, I don't understand what he does, because he's the kind of person that he's such a malignant narcissist that he looks at this whole thing as a storm that he just has to weather, that it's just going to be temporary and people are going to forget about it. And when they forget, he'll be reelected to a fourth term and then he's going to run for president. I imagine that's what's going on in his mind. And that's a sickness, because that means that you are able to discount the pain of these women and the environment that you created and the needless death of thousands and thousands of older and infirmed New Yorkers.
Yeah, real tragedy. And, when you step on people on your way up, they're not going to be there when you fall. And that's what Governor Cuomo is experiencing right now. And, these nursing home deaths are really tragic. They're happening all over the state. The policy was a disaster. But I think the Democrats are concerned about this potentially happening too. That's why they're focusing on the sexual harassment, which is serious now. It's reached a serious point. But I agree with you. We should not be overshadowing this when you look at Governor Whitmer, Governor Murphy, Governor Wolf, and Gavin Newsom, who you just alluded to, is facing a recall. The Democrats don't want this guy out there, muddying the waters and making them look bad, but they're afraid to pull the trigger. And if he goes to an impeachment, I think that's going to be the ultimate. The Democrats are going to have to
that's going
take a stand.
That's going to be a huge distraction for Democrats and for the Biden agenda, which is makes it all the more surprising that the president and vice president haven't been a little bit more forceful in their calls for his resignation. Congresswoman Tenney, thank you so much for your time.
Coming
Coming
up,
up,
I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right.